everyone, it's Sarah, friend of Moda here with another installment for Moda Blockheads 6. This week we will be doing block number 16 and it's presented by Debbie Maddy of Tiori Designs. All right, make sure you've got your pattern downloaded and we will get started putting the unit together, our Cloud 9 block number 16. We have all of our pieces and parts that we're going to need for this block here, and you'll notice I have a lot of pieces here. This block has a lot of different color configurations to it. Don't let that stress you out. If you decide that you just want 2 colors in this block, you can do 2 colors within this block. But we're going to be constructing 4 different sets of 4 at a time flying geese units with this block. So you'll have 4 big squares and you're going to have 4 sets of smaller squares, and then we've got some center squares that we're going to be using within this unit. So again, if the pattern comes with a coloring page, you can color it up and figure out the best color that you want to make for your quilt. All right. So I'm going to take away all but one of these, and I don't remember. I'm going to have to peek back at my block with this one. It is the blue stars that goes with this one. So I'm going to put all of my other pieces over here to the side, and I'm going to give you a quick, brief summary on how to do the 4 at a time flying geese units. We have the full, if you want to see the full length tutorial, go back to the flight path block. I believe it's block number 12, and watch that tutorial. It'll give you the full length video on how to do the 4 at a time flying geese units. And it will be linked in the description below so that you can make a quick run back to see those details on that. So you're going to have, you have 4 small squares and 1 large square. For this one, it's a 4.5 and then 4 2 5/8 inch squares. A reminder that you line your blocks up on the opposite corners with the diagonal line in the middle, and you're going to sew a quick scant 1/4 inch seam on either side of that drawn line to give you your first unit. We're going to go do that and we'll meet you back here. Okay, we're back with our funky units here. So you're going to sew a scant 1/4 inch on either side of this drawn line, and then we're going to end up with 2 flying geese units out of each one of these triangular units. And then we're going to come back and we're going to trim those, and then we're going to show you how to square up. I'm going to make all 16 of these that would need to be made, and I'll meet you back here. All right, we are back. I have all 16 of my flying geese units sewn together and pressed. So we are now going to go to the trimming part of these flying geese units. In this one, I'm going to show you how to line up this ruler, just because each block within this series is a different square up size. So I want to show you how we're going to square this one up at the, and I'm double checking my words before I say it out loud. It's a 2 by 3.5 inch unfinished flying geese unit. Okay, so we're going to square up using this 3.5 inch square ruler. Now, if you don't have the 3.5 inch square size, don't fret. You can still use the larger size ruler. If you've got a 6.5 or 4.5 or whatever size ruler you have, you can still do that. Over there on the flight path video that's linked below, you can see how I marked that ruler over there in that video to the correct size. Just make sure you mark it to the 2 by 3.5 inch size that this block requires. You don't want to over trim it and then have to remake something. So you're going to lay your flying geese unit here. It is a 3.5 inch length, which this 3.5 inch square ruler is perfect. I'm going to line up the diagonal on the square of this unit along the diagonal of the geese. I'm going to make sure that the point of the 3.5 is here and that it is here. And I'm also double checking that I've got that 1/4 inch at the top that will go to the 2 inch line here. Now I'm not going to draw a line, or you can draw a line on your 2 inch line, but it's a pre-described line on the ruler, so your eye should go to that directly. So you want to make sure that you're pressing down very firmly on your 3.5 inch square ruler, or use grippies on the back of your ruler, or whatever will help you hold that ruler in place. So I trimmed both sides of that. I'm going to flip my unit. I'm going to line it up on along the bottom here, the 2 inch line here, and we go zip, zip, and there we have the 2" by 3.5" flying geese unit. So I'm going to trim up the rest of these and then join me back here and we're going to put the block together. Okay, we're back. I've got all of my flying geese units squared up to the 2 by 3.5" size. Now we're going to put these into units and then we're going to sew the 4 units together to make our final block. So you're going to lay out your flying geese units all in the same direction. All of the top geese are going to be flying in one direction, and you've got a bottom row which has one of the extra geese there with the little the 2" square. So you'll sew the flying geese together. I would press all of your seams in one direction and then press to the small square to make those 4 units. Okay, I'm going to go ahead because I don't know about you, but I love to chain piece. So what I usually will do is I will stack all 4 of my blocks so that I can then take my one whole stack to the machine and sew them all together, save a little bit of time so I'm not having to get up and down from my machine and from my ironing station. So now I've got these all 4 stacked in the order that they're all going to go. That way I also know that I didn't twist something going the wrong direction if I get distracted by what's on the TV or what's on my audiobook or whatever. So I'm going to take all 4 of these now to the sewing machine, sew them all together, and we'll meet back here. Okay, we are back, and with voila voodoo magic, we have a completed block for you. The construction of this block is so simple. It is a 4-patch block. We've all done a 4-patch block in previous videos, so it was pretty simple. You sew the two together on the bottom, and then you press your seams in opposing ways, and then I press my center seam open, so it gives you this nice flat block. So you can see the geese are chasing each other all the way around. That's the way you want it to be, but if it doesn't end up like that, it's okay. You've created your own block. So this is a 9" finished block, 9.5 unfinished. And super fun to make this block here. This block again was called Cloud 9 from our friend Debbie Maddy of Tiori Designs. And we really thank her for sharing a super fun block to make for this project. Be sure when you're completing your blocks that you share this to the Moda Blockheads 6 Facebook group, or if you're on Instagram, hashtag Moda Blockheads 6. That's it for this week. We will see you back here next week with another fun block. Have a great sewing week.